Hey guys, how y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing great. Today's video is going to be 5 reasons why Among Us 2 will eventually fail after being released. So make sure to watch till the end, and if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into this video, starting off with reason number 1. Reason number 1 is going to be all things server related. Now, Among Us has been out for quite a long time with no issues in the idea of server space whatsoever. Now, 2 months ago, when the game started gaining some traction, it went from a game a couple hundred people played to over 250,000 people all at once, so it's understandable that server issues would proceed to become an issue like they have. One of the big issues that people end up running into is that they can't even find certain games. Even after putting the code in, being in the correct region, none of that stuff will actually end up working for them for some reason. Now, this is something that not just the people joining games have issues with. Lobby hosts will also have the exact same issues with people getting into the server as well. With this kind of issue, it proceeds to force them to create even more lobbies than they really needed to in the first place. Now, at this point, it leaves behind what we're going to call these dead lobbies, which is basically a lobby that no one's going to be able to join. Now, the problem with that is it just takes up so much server space. Now, this server space is very important. With a game that's already straining behind all the masses of people that are playing, these dead lobbies are creating a really big issue. If people can't join these lobbies, they're taking up space. Those lobbies could be going to other people who are trying to get in, who are having these issues where they can't actually even connect to any games. Now, another one of the big server issues that people are going to end up having is if they can't even connect fast enough to one of the lobbies that they're trying to join, what will end up happening is they're going to get a forced auto disconnect, and they're basically going to be given this message. Now, for some people, this could very well be an issue, like these messages say, where errors will occur, or maybe some will lag a bit, and because they don't send enough packets to the server whenever they lag, the server will just end up auto disconnecting them from the game, which is a very big issue, because when you lag from a game, in theory, you should still be in the game, just standing where you're at. So getting disconnected like that is very disruptive, not only for other people if you're the imposter, it's just for yourself, even if you're a crewmate just trying to get your work done. Now, the worst of the server issues, and this one is actually quite rare, are when players seem to get region stuck, which basically means some people will only be able to play in NA and Asia servers, meaning even if they're connected and it says they're connected to Europe servers, they won't actually be able to play. They're either going to be in NA or Asia at that moment, even though it says they're in Europe servers. Now, this is actually one of the issues I personally had to deal with, and it's not really that bad of an issue, it's just more annoying that you can't really do anything in a certain region, which for me was NA. I couldn't do anything in the NA servers, which basically means the best ping that I could ever get at any one moment was on the EU servers at about 150. Now, there's really not that big of an issue with it, as this game isn't really dependent on ping, whereas games like CSGO or Valorant, if you're sitting at 150 ping, you're going all over the place because it's a fast paced, fast movement kind of game. So this game, it really wasn't that big of an issue to deal with, but it is something you could stumble upon with some of the server issues that they have going on. Innersloth, which is the company behind Among Us, released a little blog about 1 month ago stating that they knew they had tons of players and that there was tons of growth happening. So in theory, they should have been working and preparing for issues that would revolve around the server. But in all honesty, it didn't really seem like anything has changed at all, other than the changing of the format of how the 4-character codes worked, which went from 4 characters in the beginning to 6 characters now. Now, getting server space really shouldn't be that hard or time consuming at that. And to show you what I'm talking about, we're going to be using Amazon Web Services and the game servers that they offer to companies. Amazon Web Service refers to their servers as fleets, which are usually centered in different regions. So in theory, Among Us would have a North American fleet, an EU fleet, and an Asian fleet. Once the fleets get set up, you have the ability to increase or decrease the amount of instances you are using in the matter of minutes, which would mean at nighttime, when player count goes up significantly, they can then up the amount of instances to work with that amount of players that they are getting. And if there's not that many people on the servers, they can lower the instances to save money. Now, with all of that from Amazon Web Services, it really shouldn't take them a month to fix these issues that were not only happening, but at the time, bound to show up sooner or later, depending on how fast the game ended up growing. So having all of these server issues are going to end up leaving a really bad taste in people's mind for the game and the chance they want to come back to Among Us 2 whenever that game ends up coming out. Now, the amount of people that will end up coming back because of server issues are going to be a lot smaller just because they're facing them now. They're going to stop playing, and if they want to come back, well, they already own Among Us, so why not just play that game again? And now we're going to go on to reason number 2 of why Among Us 2 will fail. One of the other main reasons why Among Us 2 will fail is because it's going to have the same mentality that Fall Guys had going for them. Tons of hype are going to be built up, it's going to get released, people are going to play it for a month, 2 months, and then the fallout's going to start happening where players are going to start leaving and they're going to look for the next big game or the party game that they're looking for their friends, or just the next thing that they can play, or they're just going to go back to other games that they've been playing for the longest of times and leave the hype behind them. And this is actually going to be very, very bad for Among Us 2. And the reason for that being is because right now, all the hype is sitting on the Among Us game, which is what everyone is playing right now. This hype is not going to last for 9 months to about a year by the time when Among Us 2 comes out. And now, on to reason number 3 of why Among Us 2 will fail. Among Us 2 is going to have to introduce quite the mix-up when it comes to gameplay style, character types, and maps if they're going to want to make the game actually worth it to be played by people. Because at its current state, if they just make Among Us 2 the same as Among Us 1, no one's going to want to be able to play that game because they already have Among Us 1 and it's what they've already paid for. Now, with the idea that the game is going to be more expensive than the first game, you can quite clearly see that there will be a huge drop-off in a player count unless the game can introduce quite a bit more qualities than the current game. Because why would people want to spend more money on a game that they would basically already own? This would make sense if you are EA creating sports games, but this isn't really EA. And on to my favorite reason of this entire video, reason number 4. Hackers. They are a cause for quite a few issues in not only this game, but most games for that matter. The least they could do at the time of release is make sure that the game has some sort of anti-cheat, or even then, a way to report people who actually hack so they can get banned from matchmaking in some sort of way. As of right now, in Among Us, there really isn't anything you can do against hackers other than leave the game and start a new lobby and go on your way. Now, going against a hacker, especially in a way like that, in a video I just showed, it can be very frustrating, especially when you just want to play and have fun, but the game ends before it actually even starts. Last but not least, reason number 5 of why Among Us 2 will fail. There are tons of games out there that have some sort of competitive scene. Now, I'll give you a quick example. CSGO, for instance, you hop in, you can play competitively, boom, you're in. Or if you want, you can hop on FACEIT, join matchmaking there, and play with people roughly your rank in a way that's actually more serious, and it is still very competitive. Now, Among Us doesn't really have anything like that. Among Us, you just hop into a game, you play the game, you're done with the game, that's it. There are a few Discord servers out and about that you can join, but everything is still rudimentary and not really fully made to the best of its ability. It does still make a lot of sense though. If you want to try to get out of the hacker-filled lobbies of CSGO, you head over to FACEIT and you play there. They have a custom anti-cheat which will stop all kinds of hacking. Now, it's not the exact same with Among Us. All you have is a server and a bunch of people and their word for it if someone was either hacking or not hacking. Now, even then, you do still get that competitive itch filled, and the chances that you will run into a hacker are so much smaller. Now, there are quite a few people, like if you've ever watched XQC stream, he is very competitive. And of course, he's not the only competitive person out there. Me personally, I'm also very competitive, so having some sort of competitive aspect to the game would mean wonders for the game. But the fact that they don't have it, and the idea that I don't think they're currently working on it, is going to be detrimental to the game in some aspects. Those are the 5 reasons why I personally think Among Us 2 will end up failing. If you have any other thoughts about why they may fail, or may actually be another hit game, let me know in the comments. Have any questions about this video, please do ask them. And if there's any other games that you want me to go over that are on the same kind of line as this, please do let me know. I had so much fun making this kind of video, and I'd love to do it again. And if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like on the video, and also subscribe to see more content like this. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.